Folks, sit back and relax. It's been a while. This is probably one of maybe, you're going to see a part of this video probably once over the next few weeks. And we brought back the reoccurring Nightmare playmat to represent the reoccurring Rudy buying for the Rudy Vault. And we have some massive $50,000 plus transaction regarding a vintage Magic collection. All kinds of stuff we're going to be going over here. And it's been a while. It's been a short moment, folks. Well, let's put it this way. I haven't been able to film some of the previous recent collection buying transactions, so this is the first one in quite a while. And I'm going to sit back and relax and share it with you all. Hope everyone's having a great time. Relax. I know the world's very volatile. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the state of the market, what we're doing here, what we're looking at, and where I think we're going. So let's start with the obvious here. Let's get right to the big guns here. We're going to go right over here to the Power 9. That's probably what everybody's always most excited about, even though, you know, Power 9 is actually not what really excites me more than anything. I actually like all the Arabians and a lot of the weird cards more than the kind of the eye candy shocking cards, as they say. But I know the market loves to see more of this kind of thing. So we have a Power 9 set, mostly unlimited, but does also have beta. This has been audited. The transaction has been completed. And I'm going to go over the findings and share everything with you guys what I've been looking for. So we have a nice, unfortunately, yeah, we do have some yellowing on the border. Definitely a very well-loved Black Lotus here. Definitely a very heavy played. You guys can even see. Oops, let's get up here. Get up and you can even see the, where's Rudy's tool? Where's Rudy's tool when you need it? Where's his fucking tool? So you can see, obviously, we've got right out of the gate here on this Black Lotus. Let me get some good angles going here. Dun, dun, dun. Where's the light? There you guys go, right there. So you guys can see very clearly. We got a double roller line on the Black Lotus here. Definitely heavy played. My goodness. But she is authentic. She is the real deal. So very nice card to look at. Adding to the Rudy Unlimited Lotus collection. Again, I always tell you all, I know everybody laughs at me. Unlimited Lotuses are kind of my thing. I love them because it's the only white bordered version. And they're very difficult to get clean. The border is yellow. They get dirty. I've always been a big fan. I know the Alpha, Beta, and all the collectors and ice versions are all black bordered, but I always thought there was something special about the only version they ever made that was a white border. So we do have a well-loved Lotus in this collection. Next, we have a very, again, none of these are going to be super gradable, minty type cards. We have ourselves a very nice, very well-loved, again, Mox Sapphire. You can tell these are actual played cards from a long time ago from a player's collection versus investors. You can see all these cards have very authentic original playware from being slid around before sleeves were a thing back in the day, folks. Next, we got ourselves a very nice ruby over here. And I'm going to cover up the face. The camera keeps trying to focus in on that face over there on the playmat. So we have ourselves, again, a yellowing on the white border there. Gorgeous Mox Ruby on the eye appeal on the front, even though it's yellowing and dirty. Of course, as with the rest of these, the backs are the worst condition. You've got a lot of wear on the backs of these things. Most of these are going to be pretty heavy played, man. But they're authentic and absolutely honored to be a part of the transaction and actually own these and purchase these from this individual. Absolutely fantastic. So, Mox Jet, this one a little bit nicer, actual white instead of yellow borders. Very nice clean front. Back on this one's actually a little bit better than some of the other ones. You don't have as heavy of whitening on the edge, but still very well loved. Gorgeous Mox Jet on there for our 3. Next, we're going over the old Time Walk, which is was always Rudy's favorite piece of power growing up. I always thought it was the most overpowered card because I was like, yeah, 3 free mana is great, and a Mox hitting mana is great. But a whole other turn, you get to draw another card, you get a whole other attack phase, you get to double everything. So, again, always Rudy's favorite here. Again, gorgeous Time Walk there. Very well loved also on all borders there. And very cool card to see. So now, we get over to the infamous Time Twister, the infamous surprise card, like the Bazaar of Baghdad of the base set. Extremely well loved and actual damage across the top there. Looks like somebody tried to actually do erasing on the top of the card. You can see some of the white surface at the top actually worn off the actual surface of the card. Back on this one again. This card I would actually put in towards the damage category. The whitening is so bad In addition to that, it almost, like I said, I almost want to say this is actually inking on the top there, but it's so worn with so much dirt. You guys see right there in the corner? Like if you look at Rudy's tool, like that to me looks like black Sharpie. Somebody tried to touch it up. And same thing in the front, like I said, somebody tried to erase that. Like if you look right here, do you see how the white surface of the card is actually kind of removed and it's rough looking? Usually like people used to try to erase and do things. So probably the worst condition. That time twister is pretty bad for the unlimited power over here. Last but not least, the Mox Pearl. Probably, again, it's funny. The Mox Pearl is probably going to be the nicest, which looking at it immediately, it looks the nicest. Mostly because, well, not as many people played white cards. It always was that way. It always will be that way. Again, we got a nice, well, I guess it's really not that much better. You got to see that nice roller line there through the word The Gathering, left to right. Strong, deep indentation on the surface. And you can see a nice little nasty dent right into the card there. But the front, again, a little off-center left to right there. But boy, she's got some beautiful eye appeal, doesn't she, everybody? Next, we're going over to the Beta. We got ourselves a nice Beta Mox Emerald here. Now, she is a little interesting. Absolutely gorgeous eye appeal. Again, big difference on there. And of course, you look at these cards. Let's see the top. This one looks pretty nice. Back of the card looks pretty good. This one's a little bit cleaner. I don't see any super deep indentations. A lot of light scratches and dents, but at least nothing super, super massive like some of the other cards. Probably, you know, considering all of them, this one's actually a little bit nicer compared to this. I mean, you can still see a lot of surface grime and gunk in it. Definitely one of the nicer ones. Now, last but not least over here, when I was going through this one earlier today, I did notice on this Ancestral Recall, God, you know, it's funny, people ask me all the time, Rudy, when you buy these collections, would you rather them be in rough condition so you get to pay less money? Or would you rather it be minty and have to pay like a ton of money for each card? The answer is I'd rather the cards be raw and all near mint to mint and pay like 100,000 instead of 50,000 kind of thing. But versus them being rough, because now, like for example, because like a lot of these can't be graded, they're just going to come out straight up damaged. Like if you look at this card right here, this Ancestral Recall, you can, this one actually has straight up inking. You can see right here, if you guys look right there, right across there, you see that black, that is straight up Sharpie right across the top. And actually maybe even over there too. So you can see the black. Let's see how it turns from, because you can see how it's nice and white, and then it turns right to black right there, and then goes back to white. So unfortunately, this card will never be gradable. And well, I mean, not that you'd really want to grade it. Actually, I even think the side there, you guys see that? That's black Sharpie right there on that corner too. So that's actually on the other side of the card. So unfortunately, because of the Sharpie marking, no legitimate grading card company will grade this. It'll come back authentic altered type thing. In other words, it's a real card, but it's been tampered with, you know, trimmed, touched up or whatever. They will not assign an actual numerical grade to it. Anyways, beautiful eye appeal, little off center, left to right, top to bottom, but that is the Beta Ancestral Recall. By the way, do you guys even see the bottom there? You even got a light dent on the card too. So very rough condition on here, but these are the real deal. And that is the Power 9 set that came in this particular collection that we did. Still, I mean, you know, when you look at it, and you just look at it from a distance, and you just kind of enjoy it, it's just, you know, it's so historical at this point in 2022. You know, even in rougher conditions, no matter how many times I do collection videos and transactions behind the scenes, it doesn't get old. And as you guys can imagine, well, I wonder if Rudy deals with this. Does he still? The simple answer for those of you who always wonder these things is no, it doesn't get old. No, there's no number of times I can engage in collections and transactions with the public and people and patrons and viewers who contact me. It never gets old. And again, if you're interested, you want to be on the channel, you want your cards to be immortalized on YouTube, AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com is the only authentic, non-fraudulent way to contact me. Any other crazy, creepy websites and back pages and OnlyFans and these goofy websites and chat programs, they're all scams. I don't use any social media. If you think you're talking to me on any website, you're getting scammed. I guarantee it. Then welcome to modern era. Remember that. Description of this video and the description of every YouTube video on this channel, you will see my email address and you will see the only safe mailing address to send your cards. So if anyone's pretending to be me, and that's not who you're communicating through, and that's not the address or email, you're getting hosed. And so, but I just want to say that. And remember, this is mostly historical. You know, people get to enjoy it. But remember, everything you see in these videos is not for sale. I appreciate the offers, as always, every time I do these, but none of these cards are for sale. All right, so now we're not going to go too much. I said we're going to break this video apart. So now we're going to go over some expensive Arabian. Actually, you know, that might even be another video. Let's just go over some of these more cheaper Arabian Nights. I want to discuss that because right now, well, 2020, because of the terrible market conditions and everything from stocks to crypto collectibles, people are more interested in the cheaper stuff than they are the crazy high end or like the really kind of more, I don't know, I want to say high end, but more these sought after type cards. So I really want to discuss the cheaper ones, okay? So I want to go through some of these cheaper Arabian Nights cards because there's more activity in 2022 uncommon Arabian Nights in the dark, alliances, Tempest, Arzas. People are going for those. And so I really wanted to focus on these things. So let's first start with basic stuff here. Oasis and Deserts, some basic cards here. Yeah, I mean, there was a time these things were all like a quarter, 50 cents, $1 a piece. Again, if you ever come across them, you should buy them. These are pieces of history. There's, you know, yeah, I don't care. Even a common card from this era is still worth a ton of money because it's still rare. The most common card from 94 is more rare than probably a mythic rare in a modern set. Seriously. Aladdin's Lamp. The double 5 mana always just triggered me, man. It's like 2 5s for a casting cost? Is that 55 mana? Yeah, young Rudy, it used to be kind of a funny thing. Aladdin's Ring. I used to think this was the dumbest card. Because like, who's going to do an 8 drop and then pay 8 just to use it every turn? And then I saw it played in Old School and some other people, and they were pinging this 4 damage every turn and untapping it. Yeah, well, I changed my opinion very quickly. Bottle of the Old Slew, set collecting card. Brass Man, again, set collecting card, reprinted in 4th. You know, Scimitar. By the way, there's even a subset of people. Like, I actually have a couple patrons, male and female, that collect the Arabian Night horse cards. I don't know if I've ever really discussed on the channel because I've had multiple patrons. There's actually, there's like a group of 2 or 3 chicks that are patrons of mine, and another group that's like 5 guys and 2 girls, and that sounds like the 5 Guys burger place. There's a group of these people that are obsessed with the horse artwork in the Arabian Nights cards. There's like, was it 2 or 3 horse cards? Jander Saddlebags or Ebony. Anyways, that's a big set collecting thing. And then I have another couple patrons that are obsessed with Disney and Aladdin. So they love the flying carpet cards, and they always do Disney altars in like Princess Jasmine Aladdin. It kind of cracks me up. Some of them look pretty cool though. Jander Saddlebags. That was another one of the horse cards. Yeah. Again, gambling related cards, obviously reserve lists. Just simply important to set collectors. Sandals, same thing, which is pretty common. El Judge. Honestly, I always really liked this card. I always really liked the concept of a 1/1 with the lifelink kind of built in. You know, I really kind of always thought that was a really underappreciated card. Seriously. All right, let's move on to some of these other things. Erg Raiders, cheap common set cards. Rudy Zex, she's cheap, but, you know, she's still fun. You know, the Ifrit, this one's more uncommon. This one's a little bit more sought after. I've actually seen people play with this card, and this has actually become more of a thing, kind of like the Aladdin's cards and the horse cards. It's such a broken, discussed card. Ubalettis and Abilettis, we talk about this every time. They finally reprinted it. Original version never went down in price. This is still a very powerful, very unique card that I think is still going to remain important in the future. Stone Throwing Devils, I believe this is one of the cultural sensitive banning or race or politics card or something. These little pink guys that throw rocks. I don't know, whatever it is, who cares? But apparently, I believe this is one of the ones that you're not allowed to look at or talk about. So again, anything like that, remember, don't use any of those things. You know, the whole invoke the P, I guess the gypsies and devil. Don't buy the card based on that. Because that 2020 era of all that weird stuff that happened in like Wizards banned and said these things are bad, or the artwork or the name, whatever the hell it is, don't use those as reasons to buy or sell the particular cards. Because in it's been 2 years. Nobody cares anymore. In another 5-10 years, nobody's going to be like, oh, in 2020, they banned these pink devil guys. In the collectible world, that doesn't matter. Remember that. So don't mix current events to things like that. Now, do I like the card and set collecting? Absolutely. But just remember that, folks. Don't move money based on short-term events like that, where in a couple years in the future, no one's going to care. So the old dun-diddy-dun-dun, set collecting, fish liver oil, same thing. Flying Men, probably the most iconic 1-drop 1/1 flyer. Great card to own. Actually, I had a couple patrons that were obsessed with the turtles. This is another. But do you guys see what I'm getting at here? By the way, so yeah, there's some patrons that are obsessed with buying these turtles, and this is one of the Arabian Night cards where you have the 2 versions. You have the dark and light mana. See the 2 different printing versions. See the one. So this is one of the cards that has the 2 variants in the Arabian Nights set. You got the light and dark mana symbol, just so everybody knows. Anyways, I just want to stop there for a second, and I'm going to ramble. If you guys aren't noticing a trend here, almost all these different weird 93, 94 era Arabian Night cards, or any of these old cards, you're noticing all these random patrons and messages and people. I'm telling you, I'm identifying all these random cards that have stories attached to them. And I expect that to continue and to be a pretty strong driver for a lot of these weird older cards. You notice how I'm picking that out, and the horse cards and Aladdin's ring, this and that, the pink stone throwing devil dudes, and do you see what I'm getting at? I think that is more important to understand than the stupid, cultural banning sensitivity garbage from 2020, which should not be a part of your investment or collectible concept. You should be separating your emotions based on the data of the cards and what they're used for. I just don't mix them. In business and finance, we don't mix that stuff because it doesn't lead to good decision making. It leads to emotional decision making. So, but I mean, all these cards are becoming some sort of like cult, different followings, and people have their favorites and they hoard them. And those are the type of things that do have long-term impact. So I wanted to get that out there. Okay, so merchant ships, a little bit more, recently had a lot more activity. Artwork's always gorgeous. Anyway, Serendib, this is the Djinn, not the Ifrit. Any of these type of cards are always underappreciated in my opinion. All the Ifrits, Djinns are very special cards from Magic's history. Sinbad's Unstable Mutations, more set, bulk collecting, not really that big of a deal. We get over here, Cyclone, pretty cool card. Desert Twister, because I think this one was only in Arabian Nights. Desert Twister was like 4th edition reprint and Chronicles and Ogres, set collecting type thing. Same thing, Metamorphosis, the Naf's Ass, Sandstorms. These are all just the basic generic cards. Actually, there's people who collect these wolves. Again, certain cards like that people are very pretty heavily into, so remember that. A little bit left in this pile. We're going to call it quits today. Alibaba, Bird Maidens. Desert Nomads, same thing. There are people that are obsessed. I have seen picture. I've had somebody send me a picture of like 500 Desert Nomads because they're obsessed with this card and Star Wars and different things. So that is, again, that's another one of the cards that reminds me of that. So yeah, people don't do that with New Age cards. In 2022, no one's buying the new, I don't know, Midnight Hunt or Crimson Vow, or I don't know, Streets of Copacabana. No one's buying that, saying, oh God, I'm going to collect all these commons. If they are, well, you should probably give them a hug because the print run's going to be probably like a bazillion, probably in the tens of millions, and you're wasting your time. They're never going to do anything. All right, Herd Jackals. Curd Ape, very special, iconic, first printing. Magnetic Mountains, Ruka Eggs, very cool things there. By the way, Coin Flip Ifrit, again, that's probably that's one of the very special red ones that people should be aware of. But Abu Jafar's very cool cards. Army of Allah, I think this might be another one of the cultural banning things because this is Army and Allah. It might be some war thing. I'm not sure. It says Arab proverb. I don't really know. So if it is, again, this isn't really a rare sought after thing, but it is important to set collectors. Don't mix your emotions with that. Camels, there's actually people who are obsessed with camels. Eye for an Eye, 4th edition reprint, Cavalries, the old PT guys. Okay, there. Last but not least, the Blacksmith. Holy crap, the price and demand for this stupid Blacksmith. 2-drop, 1/2, and actually have protection from red against those stupid lightning bolt cards and fireballs and all that crap. So yeah, the Blacksmith for that is one of those particular cards that is kind of a thing. So that's all I kind of want to go over this thing. I don't want to do like an out. Like I said, this was only one box. There's like 7 boxes. So I don't want to go 3 hours and my camera to blow up. So we're going to say that for the part 2. Conclusion of this video. Understand a couple things, people. Right now, weak cards are more sought after than these. Okay? That remains a fact. Right now, this pile of all kinds of unique, weird, cheaper cards is where the market's attention is and where most of the sales are happening. Power cards, high-end cards, buy lists are not going up. Prices are not skyrocketing. We are not in an era where any of that's happening. I don't expect prices to go up anytime soon. I don't think Power 9, I don't think Lotuses, I don't think anything is going to have a tremendous uptick. Honestly, it could be next year or the year after. It depends on what the macro overall world and economy does. If we can all move forward from this inflation and disaster of world events. And then once that happens, I think we'll get a better indicator of where we're all headed. But right now, So if you're looking and if you're doing well with your personal life and you're stable and you're looking to park money in stocks and bonds and real estate and crypto and collectibles and all these silly things, take your time. Don't be the hero. Add a little bit. Browse. Look for little auctions that end low, little transactions. Take your time. Because remember, don't FOMO into anything. These prices are not going to swing. Okay? This Black Lotus for Unlimited is not going to go to $100,000 a card in 2 months and you're going to miss out. Okay? Unlimited power is not going to go to $50,000 a piece. Okay? Don't buy into it thinking that's going to be the case. Okay? The market just doesn't have the strength right now. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that prices are stable. It's not a bad thing that buy lists are flat to slightly negative or maybe going down 10%. Maybe even they keep dropping another 10, 20%. It's not a bad thing when the ebbs and flow of the market are just like the waves on an ocean. They just kind of go back and forth. But guess what? At the end of the day, that beach always gets eroded. Even if the waves are slow or aggressive, the beach always wears. Erosion always occurs. But it's slow. So don't FOMO, don't panic. Just understand where the market is, everybody. The opportunity in these things is still huge. I stand by that. I wouldn't be buying it. I'm obsessed with them. I love it. This is the blue chip of magic here. And the future, in my opinion, remains bright. And you are looking at cards in this video that are museum quality cards, in my opinion. And these are cards that are essentially barely ever going to be on the open market in the next 10, 20 years as they continue to disappear. That's my speech. Haven't done a good collection discussion video in a while. It's probably been at least a month or so. And I know many people have been asking about these. And they're like, Rudy, are you still buying cards? Or are you just not filming it? And again, sometimes people don't want to be filmed. And sometimes if a lot of money's involved, they really just don't want to be on YouTube. And you got to respect that privacy. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Try to keep the Debbie Downers away from you. It's a beautiful world out there. Don't surround yourself with the wrong people.